I think in New York, I was signed with a pretty good modeling agency, and I said that I wanted to go to Korea, and they were like, "Why? There's so many other like Korean models there. Like, why would they use you?" So I was like,
Yikes.
Why did you want to come to Korea to begin modeling?
I was a little bit uninspired in New York, and I've always wanted to model, and I've gotten offers when I was young, but you know, I've had very strict Asian parents, and they're like, you have to finish school, like modeling is not a real job. They didn't even think fashion school was a real thing back then.
Wow.
If I say back then, I sound like really old, but you know, like the stereotype is like, you have to be a doctor or a lawyer.
Yep.
And that's what they wanted?
Yeah, they wanted me to be a doctor. I think up until middle school, my dream was to become like a pediatrician, and I didn't even know like what that entails.
I still don't know what the a pediatrician is.
So they were like, you need to become a pediatrician. And I was like, okay. Because like, you know, I have doctors in my family, and I do have lawyers in my family, but like that's all I kind of knew. But then I was like, but I like clothes and I like dressing up. Like, why can't this be my job or something that I do?
So you said you weren't motivated in New York and you came to Korea. What about it in the States was it that didn't really motivate you? Because I came to Korea and I got a lot more diligent. And I got a lot more passion, and I actually try to pursue things when I got to Korea. What is it about Korea that made you a little bit more passionate about pursuing what you wanted to do? I'm curious about that as well.
I think it was a little different for me because everyone kept saying no. So I kind of had this thing inside me where I wanted to like prove people wrong. So I actually started modeling at a really late age. So I debuted as a model when I was 26, and in model years, that's like you're already retired.
Absolutely.
Whoa, really?
So I think in New York, I was signed with a pretty good modeling agency, and I said that I wanted to go to Korea, and they were like, why? There's so many other like Korean models there. Like, why would they use you? So I was like,
yikes. They actually said that?
Yeah, they did.
Did you maintain that contract with that company? Or?
I finished the contract with them, and then so I was like, well, why? Why can't I model? You know?
Well, that's
so.
Did that piss you off when they told you that?
I didn't. I think I was too young. So I think just in the back of my head, I was just like, why not? There are so many other models, but I mean, I feel like I have the experience in like fashion and stuff, and I wanted to learn. It wasn't more of like, I want to be a famous model. It was, I really enjoy fashion, and I was studying it at the time. You just want to be in the industry. So I wanted to put my foot in the industry, like somehow step into it in some way.
And were you born in Korea? Or?
I was born in the States. I was born in Iowa.
What?
Iowa.
So did you learn how to speak Korean when you came here to model?
I grew up with Korean around me, but I never really spoke it fluently. I did go to like a Korean school at church, but I was with like fourth.
A bunch of people. You just learned how to sing like fucking Santoki and shit, right?
That's what I was doing though. I was so because my Korean was so bad in Seattle, like I was put with like fourth graders, and I was in middle school.
And you're just singing like Santoki.
And I was like, ta, na, ta, like writing the letters.
Did you go to a Korean mega church in Seattle?
I did go to a mega church.
Yes, because I'm from Koreatown in Atlanta, and there was like 3 different like Korean mega churches. That's a big thing for a lot of Kyopos, like Korean Americans.
Yeah,
they all go to this like these mega churches. Like there was like KCPC, KFPC. All they had these 4-letter names or whatever, 4-letter like names.
Korean something.
Yeah, Korean something church. You know, and that's a big thing for Korean Americans. Like. You
it
know
was
what
like
I'm
Korean
about.
Something Baptist Church.
Baptist
or
Church.
Something like that.
Yeah, so
I wish I had got to learn Korean in 4th grade. I would be fire by now.
Like even in Australia, when I went to Korean churches with my Korean friends, it seemed like more often than not they were going there to eat like bibimbap. It was the food at the end of it.
It's a social
like we get a meal at the end of it. Korean food.
Oh, you're so right, because the food is always so good. And then you're like more worried about what the menu is. Like, is it tteokguk? Is it bibimbap? is it,
The food's bomb.
Yeah.
Like,
the food's really good.
especially for student. Like a lot of my friends were international students, and it's like, well, we could go to a Korean restaurant and spend like $30 on a
Or steal from God.
There's no thievery.
Or steal from our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
There's like, we'll go there and we'll listen to the sermon, but then we'll have a free
No, make
meal.
some fire bibimbap, JC. Let's go.
You're out of control.
That's right.
You're out of control.
So funny.
That's funny.
Oh my gosh.
Hope you enjoyed the clip. If you did, listen to the full episode on Apple Podcasts or Spotify.
And make sure to subscribe to this channel, Dive Studios, and put those notifications on. Hit that bell.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.